Welcome to Doctor on Call with your host, DocGriffon. The doctor will be with you momentarily. Our guest this evening is YouTube social commentator Cognitive Thought. Our special for this interview is the New England boiled dinner, consisting of deliciously lean corned beef with freshly boiled baby red potatoes, summer carrots, and cabbage. It pairs nicely with our Chloe Pinot Noir. Doc Griffin, paging Doc Griffin, you're needed in the OR. Stat.
Thank you very much, Nurse Wicked. And welcome everybody to the show. Tonight's guest is going to be, well, I guess we need to run over the symptoms first. We have diagnosed the fact that he is suffering from a little bit of Birmingham blues, or the UK agitation syndrome. And hopefully we can go through the diagnosis and come out on the other end like a shining star. But like he is already, let us go ahead and welcome Cognitive Thought.
Hey, how you doing, Doc Griffin? Good to see you.
And it is very nice speaking with you. Cog, I have to say, first and foremost, I have to appreciate your constitution at this point, because I honestly would probably be either passed out or burned out with the amount of rounds that you've made today. Are you holding up?
I'm just suffering from a little bit of hyphen hysteria, but yeah, it's totally fine. Totally fine.
I'll never get caught in the hyphen nation. That's always a bad thing.
Oof, it's a crazy communication skills those hyphen people have hyphen got.
And it's, I would say that it's definitely a sometimes taxing, but sometimes very rewarding as well. I certainly have to give you guys kudos for the talk that you had with Bronx Blogger today. I thought that was awesome. No yelling, no screaming. Basically, it was actually like adult speak, and we really just don't get enough of that here at the YouTubes.
Yeah, I think it's like, don't get me wrong, it's always good to see a good trash fire where people are just saying so much shit, but I think when you get about 5 minutes of that, you're like, all right, guys, all right, okay, we get it. You can both be loud on a microphone, okay? But I think when you have the communication and conversation where you get to actually hear the points that are being made, they resonate more as well than just hearing just incessant screaming into a microphone.
Oh, definitely. It's like the old Warner Brothers cartoon with the sheepdog and the wolf, where finally the sheepdog walks by the wolf, pats him on the back, and goes, "Break it up, son. Joke's over." But now, what I'd like to do is what we normally do, because we're always about, basically no politics, no religion, no BS. I want to know a little bit about Baby Cog. I want to know where you came from, and how you actually built yourself up to, start upon your journey to be able to become YouTube e-celeb. I know that's a dirty word, but I think you have enough respect that it's actually earned and not derisive.
Hopefully, I don't know. I hate the idea of being a celebrity or famous. I just want to be able to do stuff, and if it entertains people, it entertains people. So,
well, that's good. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Manchester. It depends. Part of my life was in Manchester, and then another part of my life was in Derbyshire in the countryside for a part of my life. But then I came back to Manchester after a few years.
So, now was this not to get too personal, but was it more like a parental split, or did you have a solid family that made these moves?
No, my family have been together for like my mum and dad are still together. They've been together all their life. Got a big family as well. And they've stayed together, like I say, throughout it. There have been some let's say some back and forth with my dad when he was a bit younger. Let's say he was a little bit heavy-handed to an extent, Not so much with me. I was one of the younger ones of my family, but I've got older brothers, and they may have had a few clips around the ear hole or something like that. It's a different generation sort of thing. I could understand it from that point of view. But yeah, basically there were some claims made by some of my brothers about my dad doing just abusing to an extent, that sort of thing, just abuse. But these are like kids who grew up without anything. Like, we grew up without much because my parents didn't have much money and stuff like that. Clothes came from church charity bags, shit like that. And my parents, even though I'm no excuse for anything that happened, I don't know if it did happen though, because I was never abused by my dad. I've never been abused by my parents. But apparently my older brother's like, oh, you weren't there, he was younger, and it's a different time or what. And it's hard because I was so young, I don't have a memory of this. Do you know what I mean? I just remember there being kind of like a family breakup or anger, and then that was the reason why for a time being my parents moved away to the countryside, and then after I grew up and my parents kind of stayed in the countryside, and then I moved back to Manchester myself.
Well, and here's the weird thing. I think you might be just a generation past mine, but if a family has a row, it stands within the family itself. If somebody gets a beating, then 9 out of 10 times they kind of usually deserve it. And I find that people who have
I can definitely say at that point in time, my brothers were little shits. They were what we know in the UK as chavs, and they were very, very like that, to that extent of just being complete shits, sort of stuff. Like, my brother used to come home from school and stuff like that, just stinking of weed because he'd been smoking it, like into my parents, who are obviously Christian and stuff like that, and it's just like, dude, my dad's not going to let you get away with that. He's probably going to go and whack your ass with some metal spoon or some shit. But hey, that scene obviously in the courts is beating your kids and stuff like that. And there was a definite shift in perspective at that time when it happened from, what would have been seen back in the day as just, you slapping your kids on the ass or whacking your kids on the ass for being a little shit to make them learn the lesson. But then it had taken a step then towards, actually it's kind of more like beating your kids now. And there was that kind of shift definitely in public perception of how it was to at least what's the word that I'm looking for here? Punish your kids, essentially.
Corporal punishment.
Well, it's just punishment in general. Like I say, it's like whether it's like, are you okay? Like, because some parents would if you said fuck off to your mum at the age of 13, 14, she'd probably give you a slap around the face. That's abuse now, and you can literally take your mum to court over it.
Oh yeah, I have several people that I had previously worked with. One of them actually had the police show up at where we were working and pulled her off the floor to arrest her because her 12-year-old had called the police and said that she was beaten. I think it's gotten a little bit out of hand, but let's say you're going to be raising little cogs in a few years. Are you going to shy away from it? Are you going to do the feels type of punishment?
I'm one of those where I honestly don't think that you need to hit your kids. I think there is a way of talking to your kids to an extent where you taking certain things away from them, because there's nothing wrong with obviously providing for your children and stuff like that and giving them toys or whatever, maybe a Game Boy to play Mario on or some shit like that. But when they start being bad, that's when you take away their privileges. That's all it is. You take away those privileges that they have. You take away the idea of choice from them, so they have a choice on what meal they have, but there is a limited choice to it. But when it comes down to obviously them being disobedient, you don't have a choice. You're having this for dinner and you will be fed. That's fine, but it's almost like a timeout service for them. And some kids can learn that way, some kids don't. Some kids do. But I think there's always a point where some kids will still push that barrier to an extent to see how far they can. If they don't get caught up in that system, they'll try and push towards a tantrum stage. And I think a swift spank on the bum, and I literally think just like the one quick spank to the bum can be a shock enough to a child's system just to make it realize that it is actually in the wrong, because you got to that actual stance where even though you love your child, because my parents used to do that to me, they'd smack me on my ass, and then after I'd calm down, they'd be like, look, I love you and I don't want to have to do this to you. I don't want to, because they don't. Of course they don't. That's the main thing that I'd learned was just my parents don't want to do this to me. It's because I'm being a little shit. And you learn that as a kid. I think it was brilliant.
I cannot disagree. I mean, if my mom wouldn't have put hand to ass on me a few times, I don't think I would be the person that I am right now because I respect, exactly what she had to go through raising kids all by herself.
Oh, yeah.
And I still think there's a place for corporal punishment, but not, flat out beatings.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a definitely a grey area that exists where I think that to an extent it's okay. I think that a lot of parents with 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids, when you're sat there having an argument with your child who's now at the age where he's a I know everything fucking 15-year-old kid sort of thing, teenager, and they're like, and they swear as well. They will swear blindly to your face because fuck you, motherfucker, I'm rebellious, motherfucker. I mean, that sort of shit. And so I swear down, if a mum and a child are having that sort of a heated thing about, I don't know, smoking or something, because you can have that. I had the same argument with my mum and dad about smoking and stuff like that when I smoked at an early age, the age of 15. Or some people had seen me smoking and mentioned it to my parents. My mum wasn't happy about it. And like I was saying, then it can get to that point where it's just like, I called my mum a hypocrite. I said, you're a fucking hypocrite, because she used to smoke when she was young. And I was the know-it-all kid, of course, you're a fucking hypocrite. Like, and my mum slapped me across the face sort of thing, and it was just kind of like, shit, that's good. That shit can happen. Like, because you've completely been a disrespectful little fucking cunt under their roof. They're paying for this shit, and you're just sat there like, no, fuck you. Yeah, I can go live my own life. You can't even get a job yet, nigga. You're 15. Like, you fucking doing. You're gonna live off your paper round. Doesn't work. Tried it. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. That.
Yeah, it's one of those. If you're not going to be able to begin to pay back your parents what they did for you, but in your teens, you're all hopped up on yourself saying, I'm going to be this person and I'm going to do this, and you guys can't change me, and I don't care what lessons you had because my life's different, and that's never going to happen. So you're sitting in class.
Okay.
You're thinking about, okay, your graduation's coming up. What's going through your brain? What did you want to be?
What did I want to be when I was? That's a hard thing, really. I don't know. Like, I think even at that age, I wasn't really. I've never really had I want to be a fireman or something like that. I've never really had one of those things where I've really sat down and thought I wanted to be something. I think I've always wanted to entertain to an extent, which is kind of good with what I'm doing now. But like I say, I've always wanted to entertain. I've always liked to write. I've always liked to write lyrics and stuff like that, and do stuff, whether it's like based around music or whether it's based around like videos or something like that. I always wanted to do videos as a kid, but like when I grew up, like Premiere was in its very early stages, and Adobe was as well. So it was like these things were just like, how do they even do this? Like, I didn't even know what editing software you would get at the time. Do you know what I mean? To even know how to do this, but at the time I could use a sound recorder on my computer, and I used to do like I'd get like a 4-beat loop or something, and kind of like just sample the shit out of some different beats and mix them together to try and make some really crappy ghetto sounding with all the fuzz in the background and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? And then I'd record over it with the shittiest microphone in the world, which cost me about like a $5 or something, and it plugged into the usual headphone jack or something, and it was awful. But I was so proud. I think I made like an album when I was like 16 or something, because I wrote some lyrics and found some instrumentals online or something, and made a few. I made like a little album or some shit like that.
Yeah. And not the ego stroke, but I have heard you spit some legit lyrics.
That's years of practice, though. Back then, it was terrible.
Well, you got to start somewhere. Damn.
Well, yeah, you do. It's building your vocabulary. That's all it is, and it makes it easier for jumping from word to word if you ever do a real freestyle or something. Or when it comes to writing, it just makes it flow a little bit nicer.
So as a teen, did you ever do any rap battles with your friends?
I did to an extent, but it was like everyone that I kind of tried to do rap with wasn't really into rap, so they kind of like they just kind of took the piss with it because they didn't really know how to actually spit any bars. It wasn't like I knew a lot of people who knew how to like write lyrics. I was kind of like the outcast. Everyone was getting into the grunge and punk phases that I'd just been through myself, but I just got into rap. So
who would you say were your musical inspirations back then?
Believe it or not, believe it or not, like you're not going to. Eminem was quite a big inspiration. I'll be honest with you. The guy's got some flow to him to an extent. Plus, I could listen to his stuff without having to say the word nigger and offending every motherfucking cunt that I knew. Because obviously you can't say the word nigger even though you're like listening to Tupac and Biggie Smalls and all this fucking bollocks, and people were really fucking weird about it. I don't give a shit these days. It was just like, you know, when you were young, you were still questioning whether it is okay or not because society tells you so much about it. You're like, I'm sure this doesn't make sense. I'm sure it's racist to say that I can't say it because of my skin color. But like I say, writing lyrics and stuff, there was Necro. Necro is a big inspiration as well as a lyricist. Immortal Technique's really good at writing lyrics as well, like when it comes to his flow and his use of words. Who else did we have as well? There's some UK rappers as well that I'm trying to think of a couple. Go for it.
I thought you would pull some Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang are good, don't get me wrong. I like Wu-Tang. There's loads of Wu-Tang, Cypress Hill, Lost Boys. There's loads of different types of different ones. Scroobius Pip is another UK one who does some really good lyrics as well. One person that I know I've never looked at for inspiration is Kanye West. I mean, I don't know why people call him this lyrical god. I think he's really bad at writing lyrics. Like, I honestly do.
He's interesting, but the whole stream of consciousness thing, which is, I think that's how he does his lyrics, is just stream of consciousness. I don't find any value in it.
I don't. I think I can do a stream of consciousness, but at least try and make it make sense. I prefer that sort of shit instead of like, and I will always quote this one because it's the worst fucking lyrics I've ever heard him sing, and it's not I've heard others as well. It's what is it? Rockets on deck, pockets on Shrek. What's next? Alien sex.
Yeah,
legit lyrics from Kanye.
That's the one where they move into the special needs class.
Yeah, it's there's loads like that. Like I even hate it when like I listen to his lyrics where I'm sat there and it's like he sits there and obviously it's like he's never been to England and he starts talking about like you can be my American boy on that song, and I listen to him and I'm like listening to his lyrics and he's like there's one where he's like walks into the club and he's like and his lyric is something like Ribena, I know what you're drinking, Chamberlinking, holler at the next chick soon as you're blinking, that sort of crap. Yeah, but the first thing that I hear there is Ribena, I know what you're drinking. And I sit there and I'm like, look, Ribena is an English drink. Well done. Well done. You know that you've never seen Ribena before, and you've now seen a Ribena drink. It is not sold in a single bar in the UK, Ribena. I'm telling you that now. It's just not. Schweppes, I'm pretty sure, is Schweppes Blackcurrant. Every bar I've worked in, I've never worked in a bar that sells Ribena. It doesn't happen. I've never been to a bar that they sell Robinsons, maybe because it's cheaper. No one's flashing out on expensive Ribena cordial juice when they can get cheap fucking blackcurrant cordial juice. It's not what happens in bars. Cordial is used as a mixer in a bar. No one, it's just it's the dumbest shit that I've ever seen. No one gets that. If you're not from the UK, you're like, oh, Ribena, that's a drink from the UK. It is. It's a kid that drinks having their lunch boxes. It's not for bars. Bars is that cheap Schweppes blackcurrant that you use as a mixer. Fucking hell. Sorry, well, that's from a person who works in a bar. Sorry.
well, it sounds like the same if an American rapper will start talking about RC Cola. By the way, I do have to recommend one rapper from the early 90s that would probably make anyone feel like a lyrical god, and his name is Il Mitch. He's a Russian rapper and a skateboarder.
Right. Okay.
If you ever get the time, and I'll say this to the chat too, if you guys ever get the time, look up some Il Mitch and you'll know that you might have a career in rapping if you move to the Soviet Union.
I think there's another guy called Eddie Fresh. I think I used to listen to a guy called Eddie Fresh. He's like a mixture between kind of like punk and rap sort of thing. It's kind of cool to listen to.
Dude, he had probably one of those Polymoog synthesizers that he just clicked on to one beat, and then he'd rap all the way through it. And then when he was done, you could almost hear him flip that switch to turn it off to make sure people knew the song was over. He was horrible.
You get loads of good lyricists, I think, but it's like it's one of those things. Like I always find it's like really hard to think of like lyrics that really like have resonated with me when I've like listened to a lot of different songs, because it really does depend on the song and depends to what lines actually like click with you. But whether they stick with you forever is another thing entirely. I think when you write your own stuff and you can always kind of go back to it and you can kind of show it to someone, it becomes less of a, oh yeah, I remember that lyric, and more a case of, holy fuck, did you write that? And I much prefer that. Like when I hear something fresh from someone, I'm like, hey, did you write that? And that's kind of good. I enjoy that feeling.
Yeah. And it's so funny because me being a boomer, rap was just starting. So I mean, it was Sugar Hill Gang, it was Keith Sweat, it was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Run DMC, and all of a sudden you get these guys now who can just spit lyrics like a Mac 10, and it's just amazing how they've taken the art form. Because
I don't know. I think there's a difference between the ones that are good at. There are some people that are amazing at writing lyrics and reciting them as well. You're completely correct. But I think a lot of shit nowadays is just kind of like, dun dun sh. Hey, nigga, what? Hey, say, nigga. Hey, what? Hey, nigga. Hey, what? Hey, say, hey, nigga, what? Hey. That's all it is. The whole fucking beat is just hey. Just write some lyrics. Like, I was walking, in the street, in the street. Oh, nigga, in the street with my crew, nigga. Oh, like it's just like, what the fuck is this? This is rap. This is future rap. This is what it is.
And I do have to bring up Taco Stancia. I forgot Public Enemy. Chuck D. You want to talk about somebody who can write some lyrics?
Oh, Christ. Jesus Christ. Fucking Flavor Flav up in there.
Flavor, no. Chuck D,
I know.
yes. Professor Griffin, yes. I mean, those were most of the actual writers to all their songs.
You want people like Lost Boys and Mortal Technique. Necro's got some fucking evil fucking lyrics. Seriously, he's got some great stuff. I still listen to him to this day. He's got some good stuff. Eminem just drops off the radar. Like, Rap God was good. Don't get me wrong. He's amazing as a lyricist. But simultaneously, I think he's just, I think he's run out of words. I think every time I listen to him now, it's just like he's taking different parts and different verses. And I think that I kind of came to the conclusion that with that myself, where it's hard to write new stuff without new inspiration. And when you're trying to regurgitate something out as quickly as possible, it just all ends up sounding the same like his did. That's why his voice went from sounding like Eminem to sounding like fucking Apu from The Simpsons.
And really, I mean, you have a hard time failing when you've got Dr. Dre behind you laying tracks too.
Okay, exactly. Dr. Dre with his fucking sweet ass beats in there, fucking hell, chucking you on top of The Chronic, one of his best albums, man. Dr. Dre again, what a genius, what a fucking genius when it comes to music. He is. There are certain people out there, like, I wasn't like the biggest fan of Snoop Dogg. There's a couple of tracks that I don't mind by him. Same with Ludacris and stuff like that as well. But people got like massively into these people and shit like that, you know.
Oh yeah. I went. This was back in '93. I went to the Chronic tour. Some of the sisters from the telemarketing agency that I was running were like, "We're going to take you to a concert, and you're going to like it." So they took me to this concert. There was probably maybe 5 white guys in the whole arena, me being one of them. And it started off with Onyx, then Jodeci, then Run DMC, and then Snoop and Dr. Dre. This was the Chronic tour. This was like the 3rd stop in the Chronic tour before Calvin got arrested and they had to take him back to California and cancel the tour. But I mean, I was blown away. I was just amazed. And from that point on, because I really didn't give it much of a thought, because back in '93, everything that was coming up was rebel country at that point. So being the Caucasian looking person that I was, that's all I was into. But I grew up in the project, so I got the chance to, get baptized with people like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and Melly Mel, even KRS-One, and those guys were throwing down. I mean, they laid that foundation. Oh, I have to say, this is the bottom of the hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not sub to COG, you need to be sub to COG. All of his links are down below. YouTube, Twitter, BitChute, Minds, Gab, Discord, Streamlabs, PayPal, Maker Support, Patreon, and, of course, you know, he's got a merch shop. And if you haven't bought your oof shirt yet, you should.
Oof.
I thought that one was genius. And
it's my favorite.
And now, would you agree with me that a lot of things that happen that are good on YouTube, or at least stand out, are things that happen organically?
Depends what you're talking about. Like, I think the stuff that stands out on YouTube, we're talking about what actually grabs the views, can be any sort of random fucking bullshit from, oh, look, this is a jelly cake or some shit. Look how big it is, this cake. Look how I'm gonna do a million dominoes. Watch this the video of me toppling a million dominoes and stuff like that. I think that sort of stuff can get views.
Well, I think more to the point, stuff like when they're trying to do the debate with boneless or boneless chicken wings as opposed to regular chicken wings. I mean, that shit was just forced.
Well, yeah.
But I see a lot of things that you do. You've got your own lore at this point. Being able to have a canon to come off of. I know, just watching your streams, one of the most popular things, and it seems like a throwaway thing, but people really love to balance the glass.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, people like to keep the lack of balance. It's the no balance zone. Everyone knows that. It's all about the chaos, the law. That's how it works. It's all about it.
Yeah, I mean, to do something like that, and I like the fact that your audience, if you give them a spoon, they don't just stir shit. They actually serve things up.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is some fucking beautiful stuff. That's why I love looking at the chat a lot and interacting with them. I see a lot of beautiful people already in there tonight with the guys, Cracker, Zach Lumpy. We got a Queen of the South, the Lotus Wolf, Hawk Sug, Rock Globs. Welcome to the chat. Taco Stands here as well. Hello there. Like I say, lots of beautiful people. They always turn up, and it's always good just to have a conversation, see them in the chat, and actually just involve them. That's the best thing. It's one thing I enjoy about my show, is just involving them in the conversation. Niles Manson as well. Lucky Skunk. Look at you beautiful motherfuckers. Look at them. Look at them. All fans of the No Balance Zone, apart from Hawk Silk, I think. Hawk Silk, I think, is the only one for balance in the chat right now. Snow Muffin, good to see as well.
And one of the things that I really enjoy about your show personally is that it feels like you're having a conversation with me.
That's what a lot of people have said to me. I'm hoping it is like that, because I like that. I can the whole conversation with everyone there, but I love seeing everyone have your little conversations in the chat with each other. And that's what I like, is just seeing just a group of people enjoying the show, getting on, and kind of turning up just to chill out and be communal for the day or for the time, for the hour or 2 hours or so of the show.
Yeah, and I really think that's a pleasant distraction from the proliferation of the blood sports thing, of the ethno-state thing, of just people talking at each other instead of to each other. I think you've got a very firm grasp on the fact of, this is what I feel. If you want to jump in the car and take the ride with me, then that's fine. If you don't, I wish you luck. But I never get the feeling that you ever try to be an influencer, and that's a dirty word on the YouTubes.
Honestly, it's like I have my own opinions. If people take that on board for what they do and it helps them with their life, people have said that to me. They have said that from videos that I've done debunking stuff, that it's made them change their views. It's just stuff that it's my own personal view on stuff. If you want to take that on board and it helps you to look at stuff from a different perspective, then great. I can only hope that can help you. Things have done for me in the past. I mean, So it's one of those with the streams. It's more just an entertainment thing, I think, and just more a fact of people being entertained by whatever it is. Like if there's a good trash fire going on, I'm not going to be opposed to hosting that sort of stuff. But 9 times out of 10, I like to drift away from that and just go off and watch some real shit that's happening somewhere else, like either some cops dealing with something or some pedophiles being caught somewhere, or just people having fights in the middle of the street, because why not? I mean, you can go. I understand the appeal of watching people have verbal debates and discussions, and or even just crazy ones like the Kumite. I understand that fucking. I've watched it myself. I understand the appeal. I totally get that. But I also understand the beautiful appeal of watching someone get tased in the nuts and then being lit up like a Christmas tree. It's beautiful.
Definitely. And I mean, and how rewarding is that to you to know that you are able, you're not an influencer. I will never call anybody an influencer. That's a dirty word. How does it feel? Is the reward something that you're able to take to heart when you're able to present a point of view and people's minds get changed?
I think to an extent. I think it's going to be quite a long time before I can actually get people to understand that when I say nigger, it doesn't just mean black people. I think even Bronx Blogger, even though I explained that to him earlier, trying to explain the word nigger to him later, he's like, do you just mean black people? No. I said this to you earlier, man. Come on. It's not how we work over here. If I'm saying nigger, it's because you're a dumb, retarded faggot, whatever. I don't fucking care. It's just, it's not a race thing. It's not a sex thing. It's not that. You're just being fucking moronic. So,
well, and speaking as someone who was raised in their formative years in the projects, I can say that word does not have the application that the regular normies think it has.
Yeah. If you've met enough black people, you'll know that they know the difference between black people and niggers. They fucking do. Right? There's a big difference between black people and niggers. Big difference between white people, Hispanic people, and niggers. Niggers are dumb motherfuckers. That's what they are. It's as simple as that. They're retarded. When I say retarded, there's all the disabled people. No, they're being retarded. They're being dumb niggers. Being dumb faggoty, dumb nigger, cock. But you can use it's interchangeable. It's fucking retarded. Oh.
I can't disagree, because I mean they tried to come up with, what was it, back in the 90s, they tried to come up with wigger. And it's just like, no, that just doesn't work. You're not understanding what it means, because you can be white, you can be a nigga, and you can also be trailer trash. There's kind of a separation between the two, but the trailer trash is more of the suburban or rural, but if you're a white boy, you got your pants dropped halfway down your ass, you nigga.
But this is how stupid it is that people try to create the word wigger to create the version of a white nigger. To me, it's not a race thing. That's, to me, is racist to actually apply it to a race thing. To me, it's not. That's how lack of racist it is to me. It's just, you're a dumb nigger. And if it offends you that I'm saying the word nigger, ask yourself why. If it's because of the color of my skin, maybe you're a racist.
Yeah, it's the same argument that I have over and over again, because one word being a classification for basically pieces of shit. That's what the word means. You are a piece of shit. You're a blight on society.
Or you can use it as a term of endearment. Like I could say, what's up, cocksuckers? How's everyone fucking doing? How are my niggas doing in the chat? How my niggas doing in the chat? King fucking beautiful. You can use it as a term of endearment. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you beat me to that, because the whole, we're taking it back. It's like, there wasn't anything to take back, guys. We understood how you use the word, but I will make this warning. If you guys ever have to move to a ghetto and you look white, do not use the word nigga. Do not. Even if it's to your best friend who is black, do not. The fights will start.
So the weird thing is, like, I always find it strange that nigger is a terrible word, just like people would find the word Paki to be a really terrible word. Paki is an abbreviation of Pakistan. Nigger is technically an abbreviation, or at least a word to describe Nigerian to an extent. And that's the reason why you'd have Niger, Nigerian, nigger, and that's basically where the term comes from.
Well,
and it's the same. Like I say, it's the same when it comes to with fuck. I've just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Go on. Carry on with DocGriffon.
Well, and Packy is more brutal when you get over to Europe. Americans have no idea how much that rocks people to the bone. But people get incredibly offended in Europe about calling somebody a Packy. People get
offended by chinky and stuff as well, which I kind of get, but I kind of don't. Like, what is that supposed to be? I was saying this the other day, and I was wrong. It wasn't. It's clinking glasses, and it's chink in the armor. So is that the problem? Like, is it because it's like a weak spot in the armor? There's chinks. It means that they're weak, or possibly I don't know. Like, I've never understood that one. Why chink is so bad. I don't get these slurs. Why they're so. I just don't get why they're bad.
You mean like the old chink in the armor kind of deal?
Yeah, so it'd be a chink in the armor is the weak part of the armor. So when you say a Chinese person or you call them a chink, is that derogatory because you're saying they're a weak or something? Is that what it? Because I don't know what it. From my point of view, it's just a chink. Like I don't understand why that's negative. Oh, because you can't say Chinese or what if they're not even Chinese? I'm going to say Chinese instead of chink, and they're like, "Fuck you, nigger! I'm from the Philippines." Like you get that sort of shit.
What is it? I just watched The Departed last night with the two Italian guys going in. Hey, Babu, you got to give us a fucking money. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. My name is Singh, motherfucker. Now let's talk about, because the thing that really fascinates me and the thing that rivets me is your upcoming trip. Your exodus from the homeland. Where did the idea first come in? Why did it come in? And basically, you could go any place. Why did you pick the U.S.?
Okay, so the inception of this idea came from essentially Brexit. That I wanted the UK to leave the EU. Now, when this started to be a kind of a fuss of this isn't happening, this isn't working, I realized this wasn't going to go anywhere. I'd already already given a prediction for how the pound was going to be back to where it was by the year after. I wasn't wrong about that. The currency went back to the state that it was at. If not, the pound's actually much higher than what it was at Brexit now. It's one of those things like that are really easy to understand about the way that society was going to go over here. What wasn't completely straightforward was how it was going to be dealt with. Now, apparently Brexit might be completed by next year, oof, and then we have an election or something like that, and then we probably won't have a Brexit unless UKIP's voted in or some shit like that. Like it's, and then that won't happen. It'll be a hung parliament. I'm telling you, the next one will be a hung parliament, but UKIP will probably get some good seats in there. But I don't think that they're going to win and become like the leaders of. I don't think it's going to work. I think you're still going to have Tory for possibly another year. I honestly think we're still going to have Tory again, but a hung parliament with possibly UKIP. That's what I'm seeing. That's my personal opinion on this. Unless UKIP somehow get enough seats and they try and get something with some other small party, but I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Tory with UKIP next time, but I won't be here. Don't give a fuck. I'll be gone before Brexit even happens in this country. That's how dumb it is, right? Now, the inception of this came about where I was kind of sat here and I was like, God, I'd love to go to America because I really do like the idea of going to America. I'd never been in my life. It's one of those things that I've always wanted to do is go to America. And my brother, not my brother, Tonka, I was chatting to, and Tonka was like, hey, why don't you raise a GoFund thingy to try and go to America? And I was like, I don't really want to do this. And he was like, no, dude, set it up. We're going to do a stream and try and get you to America. Next thing I know, I'm on the Kumite or a failure stream. I can't even remember which one. And I'm sat there going to it like with people going, right, let's raise money to go to America. And I've got a GoFundMe made up. And yeah, so I thought, okay, I'll continue this on. Before I knew it, but I think it was like within a day or something like that, I'd already raised the funds to go to America. So next thing you know, I'm going to America. Now, I'd already been talking to Olenska by this point anyway. Now, we were just obviously like seeing each other and stuff like that and talking online. But we hadn't got to the point where we decided, to get married and stuff like that, or for me to move there. This was just me coming for a weekend. And then she got to the point where she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with you coming here for a weekend and then obviously going home, and I'm not going to be able to, see you all the time and stuff like that. And I was just like, And I said, yeah, no, it'd be good if I could honestly just move to the US, because obviously I'd like to live in the US. It'd make more sense. Any money that comes through from YouTube, because YouTube and Google are American companies, that's what happens. It's all my stuff has to get converted to the pound. So I see money and I'm like, hey, that looks like a lot of money. And then you have to look at the conversion where it just fucking drops to nothing. And it's just like, yeah, no. It's just how it is. But if you're in America, obviously, at least when I'm looking at what I'm making, I know what I'm making to an extent, instead of having to constantly do a conversion and let's hope that the pound doesn't drop by the time it comes through, sort of bullshit. So there were definitely perks to go into the US, but the main one I would say that sticks out more than anything, like because at the time, what appealed to me more about America was the fact that you have freedom of speech and we don't in this country. Like it's seen as something that we're supposed to have, and a lot of British people think they have it, but it's not a constitutional written in actual thing you have, which is why we have certain laws against hate speech to an extent, which is why, people are getting charged $300 for jokes on YouTube that obviously cost them about another 34 grand in court costs, Count Dankula. Do you know, that sort of shit.
Obviously.
So these are appeals that made me want to move to America. Now, to live in America and actually get married and stuff like that was more a case of a lens club that didn't like the idea of me not being around, and I wanted to move to America. Now, I was like, well, I can get a H1 visa and stuff, and I can move over there and be a citizen in 5 years, and obviously she could be my sponsor if she wanted to, and we could just date and stuff like that, and everything could be fine. And I'm pretty sure she was like, well, you could become a citizen quicker if, we just got married or something like that. And it was kind of like hinted at from her side a little bit. And then I think I got to a point and I was like, well, I am going to be making a commitment, like moving over there. So and I can understand the commitment of making the idea of marriage, because she wants to settle down, have kids, get married and stuff like that. And I think we have that sort of. I honestly do think that we have that sort of thing that will last, because it's just an understanding that I think we both have of just staying together, because just through it all. Honestly, I do. But but who knows? You never know, right? That's the worst thing about life. You never know. I can only hope really for that, because that's how it always works. I can only hope and be completely honest in the relationship that if I'm getting married to her, that's the person that I'm staying with for the rest of my life. That's how my brain figures. That's how I do it. Right? That's just me. I have principles.
Well, I can say that the unknown is definitely as much exciting as it is terrifying. But then again, you never know if you don't. If you play safe, then, you could live an existence, but not necessarily live a life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that was it. It became like, well, this is going to be a commitment to move to the US. It'd be quicker for me to become a citizen in 3 years. She asked me to basically if I wanted to be with her for life and stuff like that and get married. And I thought, yeah, I was happy with her. Still, I'm happy with her. So yeah.
So would you say that basically your exodus, your personal Brexit, came from specifically the politics themselves, or just the general state of the country?
I think me wanting to leave is the actual want to leave is based on the state of the country. That I see it as a sinking ship, the UK. Right, I honestly do see it as a sinking ship. I see it as well. When I voted for Brexit, we won Brexit. I was so happy, right? I was like, holy shit, we've actually done something. But I've actually voted, and this is actually, this has actually come as a thing that's been voted for. That the UK wants to have this. This is going to happen. It's not. It's just the same bullshit spiel of you've been sold a Brexit, but it's not the Brexit you want, because there's several different Brexit, and we're going to go for this one over here, not the one that you were thinking was going to happen, right? That's the problem that you have. Right, and that's the big issue that I have with this whole thing, is the fact that it's not going to be the Brexit that people want. And I honestly believe that another referendum will be proposed by another party, and if that party's voted in, then you can have a referendum to get back with the EU. I think they're going to keep many ties so easy for that to just be taken ahead as long as another party comes into power. I think that's going to be another thing that comes forward. I think in the future of the UK, you may even have a party that comes forward with the proposed free speech, or at least the idea of a constitution for the UK. I think that could easily happen. I think that when that's sold to you, it will be sold as a constitution. After you've voted the party in, the constitution will be written by people who you voted in, but you don't know what the constitution is going to be until the outcome.
Well,
that's what I think.
It seems that desperation usually forms the best of ideas. And I hate to say it, I do agree with you. I think that the UK is going to have to slide a lot further down. They haven't hit rock bottom yet before they figured out that what they're doing is not conducive to not only government and general state of rule, but to people in general.
I think it's just becoming overrun as a country as well, to be fair. I think there's way too much immigration going on, and the culture shock has already happened here massively. It's just too much of a culture shock that's already happened here. I think it's still being drip-fed into the US, and as long as you have enough people wanting to maintain border security, maintain this drip-fed idea that you can actually possibly have a few people coming in who will... they'll get used to the dominant culture, the actual native culture of America, and they'll get to that American culture. I think you can have people who are proud to be American, proud to be to have that constitution in place. I'm proud to have those rights, whether they were born in the country or not. I think that can happen. Honestly, I do, because it happens with me. I get proud just when I hear the national anthem of America. It's well better than the UK's. The UK's is fucking miserable. You heard that shit. Na, 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 na. And do you know how great the poetry is in it? God save our gracious queen, something other shit, something queen. So God save our queen. That's pretty much it. All our rhyming words are queen. Every fucking rhyming word is queen, 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 fucking queen. God save our queen. That's it. That's it. That's the depressing national anthem. You guys have got ones that literally hits fucking hearts from everyone when you get to that last bit where it's just like, for the land of the free, and that's the bit where everyone's like, yeah, nigga, fucking yeah, nigga, that's right, yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you, I see a lot of the melting pot theory trying to be confronted everywhere in the U.S. But then again, there are more people than not that are pushing back against it. And it's not just, some type of, ethno-state white trying to push back. There are people out there who I know, black, white, yellow, Mexican, all over the place, that are saying, hey, wait a minute. I worked hard to get into this country. I made my bones here. If you guys think you're going to get in an easy way and think you're going to change shit to suit you, fuck you. Because that's what America is about people coming together and being of one mind and, ready to kick anybody else's ass who thinks that they can infringe upon those rights.
The thing I like about America is that when I grew up, everyone see it like I was obviously brought up in the UK, where it's like, oh, America's really arrogant about the fact that they're American and stuff like that. That damn right you should be fucking arrogant about you're American. It's fucking beautiful that you are, and I think it's really annoying that I was brought up with this culture to kind of look at the US as kind of like, oh yeah, but they think they're better than us. They are fucking better than you. We've got a fucking communist health service. Are you fucking serious? Like, it's disgusting when I look at parts of the system in the UK and the way that it's going. You can see the way it's going. We're Germany 2.0. Serious, it's how it's going, and I'm not even shy to deny it. If you don't, how do I know this? Because I can go on my phone right now and get a takeaway, and I bet you any money it's halal. Right? That's how I fucking know. Honestly,
I was just gonna call it Merkel Light.
Merkel Light, yeah.
But
Theresa May, who was technically she was voted in. Technically, I don't think she. Here's how I see Theresa May. Right, Theresa May wasn't voted in. Right, Cameron was voted in. Then Theresa May was taken over because Cameron stepped down because he was like, okay, so once again, one of the politicians, I'm going to sell you Brexit so you vote me in, so you vote my party in, but I don't want to have Brexit, so I'm going to step down because I can't do this as the Prime Minister. Theresa May will do it. She also wants to remain, but she'll do it because we need someone to lead the party now and sort of thing. So she was never voted in. But then she was voted in. Do you know why she was voted in? Because at the next time, it was either Communist Corbyn, right, with his with his we'll have another referendum, or we'll basically go up Remain and we won't push through the Brexit, or you vote for let's close the wage gap and all that stuff from the Conservative Party, Theresa May, but we'll also push through with Brexit. People voted for Brexit. That's all that vote was. I don't see it as a vote for Theresa May. I didn't even vote in that election, and I knew Theresa May would win. Well, she didn't really win, because once again, it was a hung parliament, which means that they didn't really win, but they had to make up seats from, I think it was like Britain First or some shit like that.
Well, I do have to mention this. Zach Lonby in the chat, and I know it's Zach Lonby, but I'm so American, I beat off the bald eagles. Fuck everyone.
There you go.
There you go. That works. Now, of course, we're coming up on the Q&A, peoples. So please do have your questions ready in the chat for us. We'll start that up in just a little bit. I was remiss and reminded that to not mention our sponsor tonight, but our sponsor, non-sponsor, is New Amsterdam Vodka. That's right. New Amsterdam Vodka. When you need alcohol to get you drunk, New Amsterdam is there. Tonight's drink is apple vodka mixed with 7-Up, which I call the Orchard Fizzy. And if any of you have your adult intoxicants ready, please go ahead, lift them to the air in celebration of COG coming to America and, of course, your own alcoholism. Here we go. It tastes like chicken.
My intoxicant is just weed.
Now, I do have to ask a little bit about that too, because you have talked more than once about some of the changes that you'll have to make in order to come in and get the green card and such. Can you go over a little bit about that?
Okay, so fuck it, right. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. Alenska right now is in between houses of where she's moving and stuff, basically, too. Until she has a location in place, we can't even initiate anything, because obviously she can't be a sponsor and stuff without an address to give them and blah, 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 sort of stuff. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's what she's in a transitional period at the moment. I try to explain this to people as best that I can. Now, because of that, we can't actually get anything underway until that's completely sorted and finalized at her end. When it is, you'll see Alenska's great return to social media, because she's got rid of all the stuff, because she's changed her address. She got rid of like a Netflix account and stuff, new addresses and stuff. So she just got rid of everything. A Twitter and stuff like that, she just got rid of. That was to do with something else, but I'm not going to go into it. That's her own personal stuff. She took it down, but she's making brand new accounts with like a new email and stuff like that for her own shit. Gotcha. So like I say, once that's started, that's when I'm like, I'm going to have 3 months without weed, basically. And then after that, I've got to go to a doctor's appointment in London. I've got to go to just an interview in London as well. Doctor's appointment is just like a medical checkup. So that's all I need. Medical checkup. They'll probably tell me that I'm fine. Don't think I've got anything to be worried about. They'll tell me I'm fine. Obviously, I'm making sure I'm not smoking weed for 3 months, so it's out of my system, because obviously, last thing I need is them going, you're a fucking filthy pothead, you're not going to America. Last thing I need, right? Last thing I need. I've also got to go to like the police and be like, excuse me, the law, can you please can you back me up on how I've not done any crimes and shit like that, and just kind of tell America that I'm a law-abiding citizen. Can you do that for me? And they'll do like a 10-year check or something. You've got to pay for that. That's like I think that's like £500 or something like that. It's something stupid. I've got to probably fill in a load of forms as well for them as well to send off certain checks. I also have to get a load of forms, or at least something written out by someone that I've known for 5 or something years. And I have got a friend who helped me to get my passport to go to America initially. Because mine had run out. So I got a new passport, or I got it reissued, and they came down. So they're going to come down and help me out, because I've got I'm kind of a recluse, but I've got colleagues and stuff that I've worked with in the past that I've still have as like friends. I rarely hang out with people, I'll be honest with you. I rarely do when it comes to that sort of shit. But it's like every so often, like that, they'll definitely help me out and stuff. They're good people. They're good people. That's the best way of putting it. What else do I have to do? What other red tape is there to jump through?
Well,
I'm sure there's something else.
And I think the thing to really point out is the fact that We just don't rubber stamp you.
Oh, no. Red tape galore, and it's going to cost about $6,000 in total. I think I worked it out to something like that.
Well, and the whole end result is, to you personally, that amount of scrutiny, it's worth it, right?
Worth it, yeah, 100%.
And that's what I think is the amazing thing, because I mean, of course, we have illegal immigration. I'm not going to get into that, but I can't imagine the amount of pride that someone would have becoming a legalized citizen. Is that something you can go into or share?
The pride that I have from being, I already see myself as, and it sounds weird, I know, because obviously I don't live there and shit like that, and it just sounds like I'm one of these mental cases that are like, hey, I know my skin looks white, but I'm definitely black. I'm obviously born in Jamaica. No, I was never born in America, obviously, but all I can say is that even though I'm not living there, I see myself as like a constitutionalist, American nationalist to an extent, where I totally see America for what, like, I've had people, like, I think it was like Day is Dead when I met her in England, because I think she's moving to England, and she's like, wow, you're one of those people that really believes into the thing that, like, America's the best country when it's really not. And I'm just like, no, but it really is. Like, and I know maybe it's just my own personal ideals and stuff like that I like about the country, but yeah, it works me, so makes sense. And I think Rock Lobster said in the chat, yeah, I also get some guns. Yeah, guns.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, if it gets set up, one of my older brothers there's an exclusive shooting range in Las Vegas, and if things work out, I'll send you an invite to it, because it's literally like a 4-day weekend where you go out and you can shoot anything up to quad 50s.
It all depends on money. That's all it is for traveling around the US, because it's one of those things. I intend to go there, and obviously I have a life there, but simultaneously I do intend to, like, travel from time to time just around America. That's the best thing. That's the one thing I can't wait for in America, because what you don't realize, right? You've got to look at this from this point of view. I've only really been to, like, St. Louis, obviously, in America, and Branson, Missouri, and stuff like that. That's where I've been to in America, right? They're the two places that I've been to ever in life. I have the rest of the states to go and visit, and every single time that I go to just another part of the country, it's going to be like a holiday to me. I've been everywhere in the UK growing up in my life. So I've been to all different parts of Scotland, all different parts of Wales, Cornwall, London. I've been fucking everywhere in the UK pretty much. I've been to the Lake District. I've been to all sorts. I've been to loads of different caves, loads of shit like that when I was growing up. You know, with like with the family and stuff like that, or with like school trips and shit where you go traveling around. My parents used to do that. That was how we had our cheap holidays. They basically bought a caravan, and then we'd stay in a tent and stuff, and then we'd go walking holidays and stuff, they used to call it, which is basically you're walking around and seeing views. And it's like, when I was a kid, it's like, it's weird because you don't appreciate it, but as I grow up, I kind of you get to that point where you're like, man, I got to see a lot of fucking England. thanks to my parents. Do you know what I mean? And I do appreciate that. When I was a kid, I was just like, can I just go home and play Mario on my Game Boy? I just want to play Game Boy in the car. So you want to do it, so you don't give a shit, and then you grow up and you're like, holy fuck, man, I really do appreciate that. I got to see so many beautiful views and so many from so many great places. Traveling across slate mines, traveling through fields filled with pig shit, stinking of pig shit. My dad just sat there just going like, oh, breathe that in, that's fresh, that's fresh, that's fresh, that is. You don't get any fresher than that. It's just like, it fucking reeks of pig shit, this. And it's just like, you can see that massive thing that's just filled with pig shit, one of those massive metal fucking containers, and you're just walking through that field because that's the walk that you're on, that's where you're going. Dogs loving it, fucking eating the fucking sheep shit off the ground and stuff, and you're just like, God, that really, it's fresh, that fresh. Inhale that. That's fresh countryside. That is fresh countryside. Fucking hilarious.
And there's a reason why some of my ancestors escaped from Wales, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why. But I do have to say, chat, please go ahead, load in your questions. And I want you guys to talk to Cog for a little bit, too. Once again, let me make sure and mention, because if nothing else, I love to shill for the people that I find fascinating, and Cognitive Thought is definitely one of those people. His links are located down in the description box on your YouTubes. If you want to help streamline his move over to the U.S., then definitely take a look down at the Streamlabs, the PayPal, Maker Support, the Patreon. Buy a little merchandise if you'd like. Get a little piece of cog to wear on yourself. And if you just want to make sure you're keeping up with what he's doing, check out his YouTube, the Twitter, BitChute, Minds, Gab, and, of course, there's a Discord running. I do have to ask, Lord Byron comes in with the first question. Bong or joint?
Joint. Which is just pure weed and Rizla. I enjoy the rolling and the smoking of it. I'm smoking one right now. I much prefer it to a bong. It's just the way I am. I understand people love the bongs. People like the chillums. I totally get that, right? I can understand just wanting to smoke weed in general. I'd like edibles. I think would possibly be a new way of choice for me if I could have that, or possibly I've seen people vaporize it and stuff like that. Not tried that. I've been to Amsterdam and I think and I still didn't try edible. This is the thing. This is how much I know I love smoking joints. I've been to Amsterdam and all I did was smoke joints. I didn't even get any edibles or anything. I just kept buying weed and rolling fucking massive joints. That's all I did with all different types of weed to smoke it like that, because I was like, whoa, I don't know what will happen if I have edibles, and I'm kind of on holiday. I don't want to just wake. I don't know what will happen, sort of thing. Like, even though I'm sure I'll be fine and I'll just feel high and stuff, I know it's a different type of high, and I will try edibles, sort of thing, to a degree. I have a feeling that I tried some when I was younger, but I think I threw up or something like that. I remember having edibles before, but I'm pretty sure but I usually smoke joints. Like I say, definitely joints is the one for me.
Well,
definitely.
now, have you ever taken and converted a hair dryer into a power hitter?
No, I've not. But I've never done. I don't think I've done a hot knife before, but I've heard of them, or I might have done one at a party once. I'm trying to remember, like the drunken youth of me. I used to take a lot of drugs when I was younger, sort of thing. Yeah, that's what not good.
Well, I was going to
Fridays and Saturday nights, sort of things.
I was going to say when I was in my teens, allegedly I knew a lot of people who would become MacGyvers when it came to smoking out, and I would say the biggest accomplishment, if I ever had one, with the smoking, allegedly, was I actually made a pipe out of a snowball in a bottle cap. That was a good hit.
A snowball on a bottle cap.
Yep. Because you can't just pack weed into a snowball, so there had to be something where you could bake it. So
you just made the hole through the snow. That's kind of clever. I like it.
Yeah, put holes in the bottle cap, and there you go. Nice smooth draw. Nice. But that's allegedly.
That's amazing.
Let's see here. We got another question. Well, they're coming in fast and furious now. Slavier asks, are you going to make more videos or focus more on streaming?
I honestly think that I like the idea of focusing more on streaming. Videos are something that I'm going to do now if it kind of tickles my fancy, if something does. I don't know. I like the idea of, when it comes to doing the edits of it on a video, and it's the best way of looking at it, and I've said this to a million different people, and it is just the truth. It's like, if I do like an average video, I'll usually get the same views on a video that I usually get on the stream. I just do, right? That's just standard stuff. However, for YouTube, because YouTube's a fucking cunt, a stream looks better because you have more watch time, more view time, stuff like that. And if, let's say, someone does a $2 donation in a super chat or something like that, that's like getting an extra 2,000 views, because that's how much it's worth monetized-wise, and it looks good on YouTube. So it's one of those things that my channel progresses more by doing that, and also by having people understand that that's kind of the content shift that it's going with. I have no issue with that, but that's not going to say that I'm not going to every so often get the urge to make a video and stuff like that. It's just that there's probably going to be more focus on streams because I really enjoy doing them and having the interaction with my audience.
Well, and if I can parallel this, it's the difference between shooting a movie and doing a stage play, because you get instant gratification when you're doing streams.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And the thing is like I've done videos. I did videos for like 2 years or something like that, and I used to do it all the time. And it's something that I really enjoyed doing. Don't get me wrong. It's just that when you find you sit there spending about like 4 or 5 hours of your day trying to find a good video, a video that not every fucking nigger's covered. It's every fucking cunt's covered that shit, right? And you're just like, right, everyone's covered that, right? What's new? And you find it, right? And then you do something on it. You then spend about fucking a couple of hours maybe getting the script right and stuff like that, because you know what you want to say, but hey, you're doing an edited video, so you might as well get it to the T, right? It's not live, it's not ad lib, it's you get to see that sort of that grow, and also you get to be a part of that joke grow, and then it becomes that sort of thing. And I love that connection that you get with the audience as well, instead of just reading comments on a video afterwards where it's like, oh, that's a really good point, I wish I fucking would have put that in the video or said. Do you know what I mean? You get that whole fucking sense after an edit, and you think, I've just spent 8 hours editing a video trying to get that script perfect, and if only this one person was there, this one beautiful person in my comment section who has made this great fucking point about the video, that could have been a good point to go in there. And then you do that, and you're just like, what's the difference between you're doing a reaction, but you're doing a scripted reaction. The live reaction is way better than that because it's more ad lib and it's there. Plus you can have those comments there ad lib and people can take part in it. I don't know, I really enjoy that, and I'm guessing other people do because they turn up to it. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. I found a lot of fun in doing it.
Yeah, and that's a big thing because it's real, it's in the moment, and it's reactive. It's kind of like doing improv comedy, where you're taking suggestions from the audience, and it really helps to flesh out what you're doing. And yeah, sometimes it helps bring in a different perspective you may not have thought about, but you have the ability to riff on.
Oh, well, like I say, there's a couple of videos that have come from the streams themselves, like the Shep one that I did based on the dog, obviously Shep the canine, and I did Shep the little music thingy where it's the Shaft remake of it. I still need to work on the crying one. That's still in my mind to do. I need to get that down, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get fucked on that one. They all get copyright struck, obviously, because I'm just getting a basic fucking karaoke thing and doing it. And I've got people in the chat saying I need to do the karaoke stream. I need to somehow work out how to do that. I still don't understand how I'm going to get that together. I've tried to think about it, and it's fucking me over.
I can help you with that. I'll talk to you later.
That'd be awesome.
But
that'd
yeah,
be awesome.
Now, also, well, we've got from American Gadfly. Cog, do you plan to go camping when you get to America? I recommend the Appalachian Trail, and if so, what will you do when you come across Bigfoot?
Okay, so Bigfoot doesn't exist, and I know he loves that one. He loves it. I'm just if I come across Bigfoot, what am I going to do? Make a lot of money by actually using a camera and not holding it like a nigger, like fucking portrait. I'll do landscape, and I'll get a really good fucking shot of him, not this fuzzy fucking bollocks that you see. See, I'll do a good job. I'll do it proper. Want a job done? You want Bigfoot caught? Do it yourself. That's how it is. If I come across him. Where would I be camping? I probably won't be camping. If I'm going to travel around America, I may go from hotel to hotel and just like get a plane over there or something like that. But it depends entirely on where I'm going to. But I don't think camping will be on the menu because I'm pretty sure I'll be going with Alenska, and Alenska can't stand spiders. So yeah.
Can I just point one thing out? You'll be an American and a gun owner. Why don't you just shoot the fucker?
What, the spider? Yeah,
no, Bigfoot.
Oh, Bigfoot. Why don't I just shoot him? I don't know, because it could technically just be a man in like an ape outfit, and then I've shot a man, and I'm like, oh fuck! I bet he's got social security. No, bollocks.
Well, if you have, then you just simply do the American thing and run away from it.
Or I could just like plant a gun on him and just go, oh, he's obviously black, and he obviously tried to shoot me. Like, you know.
Hey, our police don't work like that anymore since the 80s.
Jokes.
I don't know if you can answer this question, but Lotus Wolf asks, if I have a baby in the USA, can I stay?
Your baby can stay.
Yeah, because they're kind of cracking down on anchor babies now.
In a weird way, yeah. Like it's a weird one for me because I'm sure there's something, isn't it, in the Constitution, something about like you have if you're born in the US, you have a birthright or something. Pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had a baby.
It is a weird one. I don't think that you should be able to stay there because no, you weren't born there. Sorry, but it doesn't work like that. I think if the child's born there to an extent, it has that right within the Constitution technically. However, I don't know how it works when it comes down to like I don't know if that still applies to people who aren't legal and then they have the kid. Like if you're pregnant and like you're illegal and you get across the border and have the child or something like that, if it's life-threatening, which it will be, then obviously they can't technically refuse service. So your child may actually get to stay there in the country because of the Constitution, technically because of the birthright, whereas the mum would have to leave immediately because she's actually illegal. So
yeah.
Don't do that to your fucking children unless you're that much of a weird person. You just think, hey, we'll let some white people or some fucking gay family bring them up. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to say it's gonna suck for you. So don't have a baby in the U.S. to try to anchor it and anchor yourself.
Oh no, I'm getting married. That's completely different. It's not good for her. Yeah, she shouldn't do it. Don't. No,
yeah, she should not do that. And let's see here. No, that's not an actual question. But Zach Lonby says that you suggested we sing "Don't Go Breaking My Heart," but if we do, I'm singing the male part.
Oh no, that might be for the karaoke. I think that the other one that I was thinking of doing was actually I think possibly for Trez. I said it to my brother and he was like, "Don't do it," but I kind of still I can't get it out of my head. It's what should I say? Tasers in my skin. Oh god, that's so good, that one. She sent some shit like that through to me. I'll have to have a look at it. It's so good.
I think we need some more musical effort from you too, because
it's always
the stuff
fun
that
to
you
just
put
take
out
a
has
piss.
been golden so far.
I don't know if it's golden or if people are just laughing at the fact that it's really, really fucking bad. Like, I think it sounds really fucking ghetto. I don't give a shit though. Like, it's just, I'm pretty sure it just sounds ghetto as fuck. But it's like when people say they like the sound of Mr. Medica's voice, and he's like, I use like a shitty microphone and stuff. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I don't know. To me, I just enjoy doing it, so fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, if you're not enjoying what you do, then you're doing the wrong thing. That's the easiest way. Oh, okay. Cog, when is the Hitler audition?
There's a Hitler audition?
I didn't know.
9, no idea.
Oh, now another clone came in and said,
"Oh, well, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh yeah. I've just remembered. I thought we just picked Zach. I thought Zach was just. I know you came into the audition, but I thought, didn't you just get picked in the end? I thought that happened. Did that not just happen? I can't. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Did I do a whole Simon Cowell about it? I was like, come back next year and we'll see if you've still got the Hitler about you then. But until then, it's 9.
It's you've got something there. I can't quite place what it is, but it's special.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like I did like well, that was utter shit. I want you to go home and gas yourself like a Jew. Yeah, that's right. You'll never be the Hitler. Yeah, it wasn't that extent. It wasn't that bad.
And another clone has asked, I guess I should do an accent for this. Cognitive Sot, have you seen Kyle? He's about this tall. Seen Kyle?
Have you seen Kyle? Oh, he is usually about this tall. Is he this tall and he lives over there?
He has always been this tall.
He must be this tall and he definitely lives over there. That's how you got to do it. If you understand where I'm coming from, he's this tall, okay? He's this tall. He comes just underneath my nose. He's just here. And he also just lives over there, just over there. Like, put your arm in the air, guys. Just over there, just over there. He's this tall and lives over there. There you go.
This is true.
He's called Zika.
Yeah.
He's this tall and he lives over there.
Wait a minute. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Gaius Gratius is still complaining about volume. He's fine, Gaius.
Am I too quiet? What? Says Gaius.
Taco Stancia has asked, How tall is the corn?
The
corn is this high.
the corn, and it's over there.
Let's see.
The corn is this tall, and it grows over there. There you go.
It grows as high as the elephant's eye. Let's see here. Hawk Silk says we didn't decide who gets to be Gorbals, though. Zach, what are your thoughts, Cog?
We didn't decide who gets to be Goebbels. Gaius would be a good Goebbels. I mean, to an extent, I think. I think Gaius would make a good Goebbels to Zach's Mein Führer. I think that could be a good combination. However, they'd have to get over the Red Sox and the Yankees dispute, guys. You got to you moved past it before. I just want to make sure you're still okay with that, or if it's still like when it comes to that subject is dead to both of you, because you just know it's just not good. It's not a thing. You're gonna laugh at each other when each other wins. You're not going to be there for the other one. You're not going to be like, oh, Hitler, my friend. I'm so sorry that the Yankees lost. Not going to be like that. No.
And Rock Lobster asks, "Can I be Mengele?"
Oh, they made peace. See, they've made peace so that they can take over the whole of Europe. That's say that. And to be fair, they probably do a better job than what's going on right now. Let's be fair. There you go.
And Taco Stancia has put in his request, please, can I be Himmler?
Why not? Go for it. You're there. There you go. You cast in the role. We'll get the play out there for you.
Yeah, I think we've got the Third Reich crown jewels there.
Lotus Wolf, you can play Anne Frank. There you go.
I noticed that nobody wants to volunteer to be Hess.
Never.
But
No.
Hawk Silk has volunteered to be Rommel. He promises he will crush all the pedos.
I might have to do who have we got in the chat that could do a good Winston Churchill, or am I going to have to take that role on myself? Oof.
It just
we shall fight them in the live chats.
We shall take them on in the live streams. We shall fight them in every place that anyone on YouTube might stand. Sorry, I just had to get the jowls in there.
There you go. Yeah, that Lotus Wolf works with that. So she says, gas comes out of my ass. That's great. So you can do your own special effects for the death of Anne Frank, who obviously is making a special guest appearance.
By the way, did you see the story about they finally found out what Anne Frank had redacted from her diaries?
Oh, is she a lesbian?
No, it was a lot about having sex and
with women.
I wish.
Wait. With her family? Was this some fucking pedo shit going on?
No. She basically redacted it by gluing paper over the top of them because she thought that might be offensive if her family found it.
Check that fucking Holocaust Tipex. It's brilliant.
Well, there were German jokes and there were talks about sex, like any young teenage girl trapped in an attic for most of her life would write about. Wait a minute, another clone. You can't be Franklin D. Roosevelt unless you've got the wheelchair.
Oof. Don't think I got a wheelchair. Damn.
Zach, I do not believe that her dad wrote the diary. I can't see Anne Frank's dad being like, "Dear diary, today I hid from the Nazis again." Now, I do want to ask this. If you could change any one thing, you had universal lateral power. When you came to the United States and you immigrated, what one thing would you change about the United States?
Oof. That's a.
There are no easy questions here.
That is a tough question. God, I have to take a second on that one to really stew on it. I mean, we're talking about one thing, but I'm talking like I'm trying to think on what level would I want it to like. I'm a simple person. I could just sit here and say like that Dunkin' Donuts, free Dunkin' Donuts for everyone. There you go. Everyone just gets free Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm trying to think of something more that might help the societies, maybe. So I'm going to try and dwell on something like that for a second. But for now, free Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, we're into the deep dive here. I'm looking to see the one thing from an outsider's perspective coming in that you think would need to be a definitive change. And I know it's not an easy question, and I
think I would have some sort of quite extensive penalty for paedophiles. There you go. Like, and we're talking like repeat offender paedophiles, sort of to a degree. There's like I think I would change certain legislation when it came to how they're treated instead of the fucking easy handover that they can get in a lot of cases.
Well, are you talking death penalty or permanent incarceration?
I'm one of those. Death penalty I really have no issue with when it comes to that sort of thing, especially with a paedophile. I think the better gone, instead of wasting taxpayers' money on keeping them alive to an extent.
Well, man.
But a lot of money goes into doing the whole death penalty stuff with the fucking lethal injection. If you're going to do it that way, I have no issues with a nice cheap bit of rope. In all honesty, with paedophiles, personally. But when it comes down to it, if we were going to talk about how other people would see it, you'd probably have to go to something more in case of it'd be like if you were offended once, I'd see it as something where you'd get a good 20 years in prison or something like that, a good 25 years in prison for a first time offence, especially when it's beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think when it comes to a repeat offence, I think it should be like double life. You're just not getting out. Just not. You are going to die in that cell.
Well, and trust me, I've had buddies who've been in the joint, and I've had buddies who were actual guards. People who come in with a pedophile rap, they don't last long.
Oh yeah, exactly. But they get a lot of places will give them like protection and stuff, like protected custody and shit nowadays.
Well, yeah, they'll put them in Punk City, but all it takes is that one, because you have to be able to substantiate being put into protective custody first. So they have to take a beat down first. All I'm saying is, if you're going in and there are people who don't like kitty diddlers, then they should finish the job before they have the ability to petition for PC. Yeah. Oh, wow. I made the crowd completely silent on that.
I just think that I honestly just think that they should have life imprisonment with the general population. If they don't last long, then great. They won't be a burden on the taxpayers' money. Probably will get that death penalty, but with a little bit easier. Like, it'll be cheaper as well, because we don't have to pay anyone. Other people will do it for you. It's fine. You don't even have to make any rope or anything. Some guy will make a shiv out of a toothbrush. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Don't worry about it. A guy's pedophile. A guy's trying to fuck kids. I just don't have a sympathy there.
And it's not like anyone should. Any sane, rational, reasonable person. I mean, even the LGBT community is pushing back against these people trying to add.
Oh yeah, of course they're trying to add their minor attracted persons, their pedosexuals, their fucking what else? There's loads of fucking stupid terms.
I mean, I can see a gay man just leaning back and going, "We just like dick. Fuck you guys. You are so not getting into our club." and they're just trying to push it as some type of political agenda, which does not work, because it doesn't make a difference if you're gay, straight, trans, whatever. 99.9% of the people do not want pedophiles.
It transcends so many fucking different things, because it's not. This is the problem with pedophilia, is that it's like you have a lot of people who might be like that, maybe due to cultures and stuff like that, or I definitely think different people from other cultures kind of have that kind of built in because of their cultures as well, that kind of allow that sort of shit to an extent, and it's really fucked up. And that's the problem that I think that can come with it. But it's not like that. I'm not saying that's the only thing. There are obviously people that have lived in the West for a lot of time that also, for some weird reason, want to try and have sex with 11-year-olds and shit. And it's just fucking gross. It's just fucking gross. And oh God, it's disgusting. An 11-year-old, 10-year-old and sometimes these are with like photos of like 8-year-old kids and stuff, and they've been caught and shit. And it's fucked up to see like the messages that they send to them, and it's like, you knew this as a child. You're talking about going to school and what you're going to teach them and shit, because they've never done this before, and it's disgusting and creepy as shit. But it's also good to just see them squirm when they see, like, you've been caught, you're going to jail, fucking. But it's not for a long enough time. That's the problem. It's these fucking, like, couple of year sentences maybe, or fucking maybe 5 years, and then with good behaviour they get half of that time off. And it's like, yes, 25-year sentence. It's not, it's 12. Like, why do we do that? Why do we do that whole thing where it's like, this is your time, but with good behaviour you get half of it knocked off? Why is there a 50% discount?
I can't disagree on that. I mean, literally in the ghetto that I live in, across the street, we had some new people move in across the street. 3 days later, we get a postcard saying, hey, this sex offender is in your neighborhood now. They didn't come over and introduce themselves like, hey, I'm a sex offender. We got a postcard from the sheriff's office that said this person is a sex offender. What are we supposed to do with that? I mean, I think...
thanks for that information. Are you trying to make me go out there and beat the shit out of this fucking cunt? Or are you just going, we know he's a sex offender, we're now going to get rid of him and take him away because we know you have children here? Like, he should not be put into the fucking general population. I'm sorry, but they need to be caged off. They're not fucking good, because the thing is, it's like, you as a parent, your kid should be able to go outside and fucking, play on his bike or whatever and stuff, and actually do stuff outside. Yeah, kids like the social media and stuff, but that's the whole point. When they're really young, they need to be off that social media shit and playing outside, burning ants with fucking magnifying glasses and shit, right? That's what kids need to be doing. They need to be fucking being kids. The kids aren't kids anymore, because we're all worried about pedophiles, because pedophiles just walk up and try and take your kids and shit like that. It's how fucked it is. They need to be taken out of society. I honestly believe that they need to be taken out of society, because nowadays it's even worse than just the fact that they could live in your fucking neighborhood. Nowadays they can actually get to your kid from the next state over, as long as they're online. If that pedophile's dedicated enough, he'll fucking drive there. Do you know why? Because he's an adult and he's got his fucking intentions, or she's got her own intentions. It's fucked.
Well, and I think that's the biggest blessing and curse for our freedom of speech with the U.S. But if we can't handle the bad, then certainly we'll be censoring the good if we go against it, because there are way too many people who will warp and twist anything. Freedom of speech is literally that. It has to be free. Even if you're spouting the most vile, disgusting things, it still has to be available. Whether or not you're on a corner with a Klan hood doing a Nazi salute, or you're trying to get reasonable child care for your kids. All of it has to be lumped in the same category. You seriously do have to take the good with the bad. And once you start trying to legislate out the bad, you start to filter out some of the good with that along with it.
I think it's like the thing that I hate is the narrative that's coming along now, though, with the like you say, this narrative of like, oh, they can't help that they're born like this. They can't help that this is their attraction. They can't help that they have these urges. They can help, though, that they don't act on it. They can definitely do that. They can definitely not act on that shit. These people that sit there going, oh no, I know that I'm attracted to children, but I've never ever done anything before and I won't do anything. So you've never had a wank in your life. And if you have, what did you look at? Because you obviously believe that you're sexually attracted to children. I have to ask what you've looked at, because you know you must have looked at some child porn in your life, which means that some child at some point along the way was devastated by this. You have these non-offending minor attracted people who literally believe that it should be okay to look at the children who of yesteryear, so the last decade or so. Let's say they've died of something, a car crash or something. They should be able to look at the pictures of when this now deceased person who has a family and stuff like that, when they were raped as a child by someone and it was videoed and stuff, because hey, it's not hurting anyone, they're dead, right? So we should be able to just look at that child porn because it's child porn of someone who's dead now. It's totally like that. The fact that that becomes your reasoning to be able to watch child porn, you get just fucking gassed. What are you even doing here? Just why do you exist? Why are you wasting your life trying to rationalize how fucked in the head you are?
Well, and people
just end it.
And people do have the right to sexualize children, just as other people have the right to visualize beating the total shit out of them.
Yeah, I think when it comes to, if you're going to do it in your head to an extent, no one can stop you. I think it's disgusting, but like you say, you have, as long as no one's getting hurt, no kid or anything like that, but it's less than visualization if it comes to the fact of you're actually watching this somewhere. If these people are just doing it in their heads and that's how they're getting off and that's how they're controlling it so that they're not actually doing anything, I wonder how long they control it for then. That's all it is to me, because I'll be honest with you, I've wanked a lot as well, but I enjoy getting sex, but I'm into, adult women, sort of thing. That's the thing that I'm into fucking. But I got to the point where I wanted to do that. And that was after a very short period of life in my time. Do you know what I mean? Where when you're just like, right, okay, let's do this. I'm definitely feeling sexual. And you get to that point, you're like, right, let's do this. Do you know what I mean? Like, you do that. This is my question, is like, do these people get to the age of like 40 or 50 and they still have... I've never touched a child in my life. You've never, ever been alone in a room with a child and thought this could be my chance to kind of take advantage. How does anyone ever know that?
Well, and, I grew up in the ghetto, so my fetish is the big booty women. So I never... Unless I was a kid messing with a kid that was my age, which every teenager has done, unless you're an incel, of course, then that's something that you grow out of. You don't say, oh, well, I got with this girl when I was 15 and man, I'd love to get with another 15-year-old. No. That's that's back when you were fucking 15 and shit. That happens when I've dated a 13-year-old when I was 13 years old, sort of shit. Like, of course, you were a fucking kid in school, like that's standard stuff. But like, I'm talking about like, I think I waited till I was like 16 to have sex, and I pretty much I think to be fair, I've always had sex with people above age, so it's all good. So it's like but I started at the age of 16, so and it's one of those. I don't know. I've always preferred. I think that the youngest I've got is probably like 2 years on me, but that was when I was probably 20 and she was 18, sort of thing. And we could have a drink at the bar and stuff. But it's like, why would you go for? I just don't understand 16 when you have to be able to be. It's 18 in this country to drink. It's 21 in the US. That's why it baffles me about the US. How you can't even go for a drink with this person? Like, that's mental to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least I can meet up in a bar with a woman if she's over the age of 18. Like, when I was under the age of 18, hey, if we could get a bottle of drink or something, like I'm 16, she's 60, we might have a drink or something. We may, who knows, that sort of thing you get up to as kids when you're kids. But when you got to the age of like 18 and stuff like that and past that, why would I be going out with someone who's younger than that when in my head I'm just like, I can't even go out for a drink with you. Do you know what I mean? Well, I have to say in my defense, since I'm so old, the legal drinking age was 18.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. Was it 18 back when you were? Fair enough. Then I only noticed it.
When I was 18 was you could walk into a bar, and I think, this is a very small grievance that I have. If you can fight and die for your country, you should be able to drink and fuck. That's pretty much it. But if you're 18 and you want to fuck a 12-year-old, we got problems.
Well, it's just fucking. It's just so weird. And the thing is that I'm talking about these weird guys. We're talking like fucking 47-year-old guys, fucking old fucking guys, sometimes with wife and children of their own. And they're going to meet up with like an 11-year-old. And they've been whacking off to some picture of a girl who's actually an 8-year-old in the picture and shit. And you're just like, oh, like this is a fucking child. This girl's skipping ropes and stuff outside. She's not even got a bra. Never had a period and stuff like that. Not even got any pubic. You dirty fucking bastard. What are you trying to? You're raping a child here. It's I can't even express how fucking gross it is. It's when you see these people getting caught and you see them, because the thing is that they've fallen for a decoy. The decoy is usually, like I say, a picture of an 8-year-old, but they've been saying they're 11-year-old since the start of the chat. The conversation always goes the path of this 11-year-old. It's just like, what does that mean? Oh, I don't know what that means and stuff like that. And all that, and then this fucking 47-year-old man is like, oh, it means this. Cum is the stuff that comes out of my dick and stuff like all this nasty shit and stuff like that. It's fucking
Well, yeah. and literally, you're talking about a 12-year-old who has not even really considered sexuality. And I mean, they may get the schooling of, sex ed, but as far as it goes, this is something that they're not mature enough to handle. And this will definitely damage them for the rest of their whole lives.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'd rather throw hands than have to try to have any type of rational discourse with a pedophile.
That's the thing. I can't do, like, when I've done streams and stuff, and I'll be doing one tomorrow, but only because there are certain ones that are kind of just fascinating to hear the excuses they come out with. Tomorrow's the interdimensional pedophile. That's how good it gets. And it's there are so many that are just crazy to listen to as stories of like the crap that they come out with, of why they think it's okay for themselves to do this and why they do that. Their reasoning of rationality behind it. And in my head, it's just like, I honestly just see like a wall that you could just line them all up against and just be like, fire. Like, I honestly could just have no sympathy. I don't even care for your rationale, your reasoning, the fact that you sit here and that you think, and this is the problem that you have, is that some people go, oh, it's their freedom of belief, because it is. They can sit there all day, right, with their freedom of belief and believe that it's okay to fuck kids. Or is there a point where you can just look at it and go, you can believe it, but to an extent. But when does that belief at some point is going to become action? Majority of beliefs do at some point become some form of action from someone, and that's the problem that you have. But I think the worst thing about this is that there are so many people that don't even consider themselves pedophiles. They don't. They want to fuck little kids, right? They will go online and try and find them online and try and get away with something on the sly, thinking they might get the dick sucked by. Because it's always the first time as well. When they get caught, it's always the first time. And then it's like, yeah, you're talking to a few of our decoys, not just one of them. And it's like, shit, yeah, so you were trying to solicit sex from about 3 fucking children? It's just, I mean, it's fucking wrong, the shit that they come out with. As soon as the guys stopped who wanted to have threesomes with someone, they were trying to message to and get them to bring your friend along with you and shit like that. And it's like, you thought you were going to meet up with 2 teenage girls tonight, you disgusting fuck.
It's like, I'm Prince Hansen. Why don't you have a seat here for a minute? Yeah. Let's talk.
I love seeing them squirm, though, and the stuff they come out with is just like, oh, no, I've not been talking to her. Oh, she said she was 18. But it definitely said it on the app. Oh, no, I never said anything sexual. Oh, no, she never said she was 14. And then it all comes out, and it's just like, oh, well, I've not been using my phone. My phone's been broke. Oh, I've never sent those pictures. The best excuse that I've heard, and it's honestly the best one, where I was kind of like, oh, crap, where does this one go from here? And it's one of those that the guy's still gone to court, and I'm pretty sure they weren't lying, but he managed to play a good front up for them for a while. And it's this guy who was sat there and he was like, oh no, I sent all of those pictures of me wanking to some Asian girl ages ago, and then she sent them back to me because she basically said, hey, come online and like show me your dick and stuff. And he got online with her thinking he was going to get some pussy and some naughty cam action. She videoed him and then sent it back to him and said, like, send me some money or I'll send it to your family. This is what he said, okay. And like his dad, some other people. The weird thing is throughout it, his dad's actually getting really teary, and it's more like he's lying throughout, because his dad's like, like, no, that's actually not true what you're saying there. And he's like, come on, Dad, that's true. And he's like, no, that's not true. Like, and that's the thing where it's a little bit weird. But he was like, oh, but my mum's seen this because obviously this Asian woman sent it through to her, and obviously she sent this all through. And now she's got to the point where she's grooming kids online, pretending to be you. Why? Like, I can understand the money incentive, but why? Just to destroy your life? But you'd have to go, oh, it's a 14-year-old, right? I'll send these, and they'd still have to have it's just a weird one. That was the weirdest one that I've ever heard, because I was sat there and I was like, I can imagine someone trying to fuck over his life, but this sounds more like he was just scammed into giving money over. But to now sit there and him go like, oh, this person's obviously now used it to do that. No. The money incentive is one thing. But you're like, oh, they're trying to ruin my life entirely by turning me. They've still got to do the grooming process for several months. Why?
Yeah, and the whole thing is, grooming does not happen accidentally. Grooming is planned, it's calculated, and it's basically taking advantage of an immature person.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're in a sex club doing BDSM, then you know everybody's of age at that point. And, you know, if you're grooming a slave or a master, that's a completely different story. But not that I know anything about that, of course.
Yeah. Best thing with this though is like the police will always like do a complete like digital forensic thing of their phones and all their computers and shit like that when this sort of stuff comes up anyway. Even if he's there going, oh no, that was obviously someone else who sent it to you, it's not from my phone or anything like that, they'll check the house and stuff like that for any phones that they can find, anything that they can, and see anything that does link back to it. Maybe if he's got like his emails that have been coming through, I don't know, there'll be something that may link back. And if it's been coming from his address, because this is the thing is that I'm pretty sure they can pinpoint at least their IP as well. So if this woman's doing this from Asia, why the fuck is it? You know, there's a load of little things that go into play with this. Do you know what I mean? But who knows? Who like I said, it's one of those stories where you watch it and you sat there like, what if someone really did try and fuck him out? And you give them the benefit of the doubt because they didn't want to go into the detail of how disgusting this was. They kind of went through it a little bit, but they couldn't really go into detail because this guy sat there going like, no, you can have my phone and stuff. He was completely cooperative with them, and I'm sat there going, is this guy legit or not? Because he doesn't seem to be worried. He's like, no, I've not done this. Like, and I'm just sat there like, but they all say they've not done this, and it's so weird to actually watch that one. But like I say, they've got a forensic scan, there's stuff like that happens, but there wasn't really much detail they went into, because when they said it to me, it was just like, I can't really say anything more than this woman. I've sent pictures to somebody else, and obviously she's used this to get against me, and she's obviously scammed me in the past, like by asking me to send money to her because she'd videoed me while I was playing myself on camera because I thought I was going to get some pussy. Next thing you know, I'm being scammed for the money, and she wants some of my pictures out. I sent her the money, and then apparently she still sent them out to like his mum and his sister. This is the thing, and then that's the weirdest one that I've heard as a story. But it doesn't matter because the police would have turned up and obviously done all that they have to do. From my point of view, to watch it is a you know, it's an interesting interaction. That's the best way of putting it. Well, but simultaneously, the police will at least get their man if they need to, which is good.
And I'll say that I have a huge perversity list that I've checkmarked off everything but 3 things. But I will say definitively, the one thing that was never, ever on that list and never will be is pedophilia.
I don't know why. I just don't get it. I just don't get the appeal. It's like I don't get the bestiality appeal and stuff like that. I just don't get there are some weird, there are people that are into like fucking, like I understand I understand to an extent like women with dildos or whatever, but there are people that are like, they fall in love with like the woman who married the Eiffel Tower and shit like that. Yeah, that's real. The woman who married the Eiffel Tower. Like her, there are people that fall in love with like pieces of wood. They don't. They probably fuck it. I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm sure they can put something inside them and stuff like that. But there are people that just fall in wood with like the end of a bed. Like it's weird. I can't even explain it.
Well, or like the guy in Vegas who married his horse.
What? Oh wait, is that the guy who has like, he lives in like a little a caravan and shit, and he's like, his horse like pokes its head in the window and stuff? Is that the one?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I think I saw that on TV.
But I mean, perversity's fine. Degeneracy is a part of human nature, But when it comes,
I think there are levels of degeneracy though, where it's like don't get me wrong, I enjoy, like, me and Alenska obviously have our own fun in the bedroom to an extent when it comes to, you know, tie-ups, whips or something like that. Not on me, on her, obviously, definitely. It's my thing to be dominant from that point of view, and she likes being submissive as well, so that works with us. But falling in love with an object or something, hey babe, I'd love to see you get fucked by an animal right now, that's weird. I just don't get it. There is like if you go on like porn sites nowadays, cook porn is massive. People having incest is massive. Like I can't watch that shit. It's weird. I can't watch something where I'm sat there going, even though I'm sat there going, I know this is bullshit, I know it's not real, I can't actually watch it with the narrative where it's like, oh, son of mine. It turns me off. Like, that turns me off. Well, I don't give a fuck. It's weird. It's just weird. That shit turns me off. It just does. It's the weirdest shit in the world.
Well, the line I draw is ruining of the innocence. Anytime somebody, I will not watch porn where, you know, they say, oh, you know, they're legal 18 years old, but they're trying to portray like, oh, I just came home from junior high school and I want my stepfather's dick. I can't justify that in my mind. That makes me very sad in my pants.
I just don't understand why the top rated shit on porn sites, like if you go on there, like, you know, the most, when you go into any porn site, there's always the most viewed right at the first front page or whatever, anything like that. And if you go on there, the first thing that comes up 9 times out of 10 is either going to be cook porn or incest, and it's just, I just fucking don't get it. I just baffles me beyond belief. Like, it just does.
Well, now this brings me to a completely different subject. I want to know, what is the, without being generic, I'm looking for specificity here. What is the one thing about America that you were sold on, that you wanted to become a part of?
Well, honestly, Alenska's life, because she's the woman I'm marrying.
Oh, you're such a romantic, Cog.
It's Trudeau, like, and not just in Trudeau. I just mean Trudeau.
Yeah. Oh God. I would definitely lose respect points for you if you had any respect for Justin Trudeau.
No, but it's Trudeau. It's like, don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me. It's brilliant that she's an American. It's brilliant that obviously I get to be an American simultaneously. That's always going to be good. That's always going to be great. But just to be there with Alenska, the person that I want to be with, yeah, I'm happy. Like, I piss her off all the fucking time, I know I do. All the fucking time. That woman can get angry at me for all sorts of stuff because I'm always busy as fuck. And I know I can be a complete cunt when it comes to time with her. But I do love her to pieces, and that's the reason why I'll be happy to move to America, because I'll be actually marrying someone who I do love. So, you know.
Well, brother, I got a woman who's put up with me for 10 years. And, I don't understand why most of the time, but it's amazing to me that anybody would, that is not actually family.
All the chat is like, gay fag. Yeah, I know it's gay. I know. Rock's like, I bet you kiss girls too, faggot. I know. I'm so gay. I get my dick stuck in pussy. That's right. That's right. It's the way it is. But then again, she also likes it. Oh, anyway.
Well, she's got to be a sweetheart to put up with the type of feedback you get, because I'm sure not all of it's positive.
I deal with my own. I deal with my own feedback. She has her own feedback. If she has people she has arguments with, then fair enough. But no one really goes to her. They'd rather come to me. That's cool. They know that because a lot of people have had arguments with her online. I never jump in. There's no point. She doesn't want me to fight her battles for her. I don't want her to fight my battles for
me. So she hasn't really received any blowback from your public life?
Nope.
Well, damn, that's lucky. That is a blessing, my friend.
Yeah, no, but it's one of those. It's like I think she goes a bit under the radar. I've mentioned her a lot. A lot of people realize that I'm with her and stuff like that. But I think when it comes to people that are, I think people get angry with me for a period of time, but because after a while, after having fun with them and playing around with them, just taking the piss and making them into a meme and stuff like that, I'll just move on to something else. It's as simple as that. And then that person can go and dwell and get angry or something, but to then go through all my stuff and then be like, oh, well, he's with Alenska, this will get at him. It won't. They'll just start having a go, and if they start talking about me, she may mention it to me, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, he's just a dick. He's going to have a go at you to probably try and have a go at me, but you can fight your own battles. And she knows that, and she'll be like, yeah, he's just a dick, and then she'll either ignore him as well, and boom, and then he's just, crying in the corner. Who cares? Like, we're adults. You don't have to fucking get stuck on that shit. People really dwell and get stuck on that shit. It's just... Like, I can have fun on Twitter for a bit because I know it's entertaining for people to watch if I'm just retweeting people that have been spazzes, but who cares?
Oh, yeah. I married a mama bear. So anytime somebody starts throwing shade on me, she just starts to go off. And I was like, honey, this is the internet. It's not real life. If somebody shows up at the front door, then we can talk about it. But until then, the Spurgs will populate the interwebs, and there's nothing you can do about it. And we are coming close to the end of the show. I do want to make sure if there's a couple more questions out there, we can get them in before end time. So if you're there to share. But I do want to make sure. And of course, like I said, I love to shill to the people that I like, the people that I watch. And please do make sure that if you have not subbed to COG, if you've not listened to any of the content, you certainly should. And the links are in the description below. So please do take a look on his YouTube, on the Twitter, on the BitChute, on the Minds, on Gab, and of course, Discord. Go ahead, take a look. Do not ever take my word for anything just because I like it. You may not, but I think you're going to find a lot of commonality with what rational people think and with what COG thinks. We are happy to welcome him in to Americanization, and we'll definitely follow through. Also, if this is something that you would like to support, please do make sure the links are in the description as well for COG Streamlabs, for the PayPal, for the maker support, for Patreon, and merchandise. I think I need to quickly address this. And yes, I do have a Streamlabs. I do have a Patreon. That is simply not the point of what I'm doing. The whole point is to be able to sit down, talk with these people that I find interesting, and hopefully you'll groove into it too. And at that point, you'll be able to not only, I hate to use this phrase, but emotionally support, but if you like it that much, please financially support as well. Once again, YouTube has basically turned into the executioner of anybody trying to make a living on their channel. So go ahead, back them up. If you like them, at the very least, smash the like buttons when you see them. Go ahead and make sure, refer them off to your friends. Share a link if it's something that you find fascinating. And literally just take the time to support, because that means a lot to not only streamers like myself, but I hope, the IRL people that I talk to, the e-celebs that I talk to, they're all important. They all do something that you can benefit from, and literally, financially, yes, but it's that bump that we get when we see another sub, when we see the likes go up. It's something that lets us know that we're on the right track. It's something that lets us know that we're putting out content that is not only provocative, but intellectually insightful to be able to get you guys down the line, whether you're talking at the water cooler or at the local bar. And that is what matters, that we're presenting a point of view that even if you don't necessarily agree with, you do have the ability to say, well, no, I disagree. Here's why. Let's have a conversation. And that is really what everything is about when it comes down to it, to be able to sit down and have a conversation, whether it's adversarial or not. If you can sit down like a rational, logical adult, state your case, have the other person state their case, and you part ways with some understanding of another aspect or another point of view, then that is essentially all you really need. Because in life, it's those interactions that make us build up, that make us become better people, stronger. Not $6 million man, like stronger, faster, better. But yes, 2 of those 3 categories fit. And I'm sorry, Cog, this is your stream. I did not mean to ramble. I just wanted to make sure. And
It's your stream. It's a good one too.
And I think people like yourself are incredibly important. That you're presenting an aspect, you're presenting a point of view that other people just may not get, but they would understand as long as they are available to listen. And that's another reason why the whole stream with Tonka today on the Kumite, it was not about yelling and screaming. It was like, hey, this is your point. Here are the questions I have about your point. And you're bringing up rationality, which is something that has gotten lost. A lot of people talk at each other. A lot of people talk to each other, but they don't spend a lot of time talking with each other. And I think that's one of the definitive skills that you have. So I don't want you to pretend that I'm just buttering your muffin to do so. Please go ahead. Your response on that.
I honestly just say I take on board criticism. So like a lot of people seem to enjoy it. I was just being honest, like I said. So if it came out as some sort of, I don't know, unspoken truth, I don't know. I was just being honest on a stream today, talking with Bronx Blogger. You know, honest questions, honest answers. Yeah. And
I mean, I think that's one of the things that we should get accustomed to. I have a problem with Generation Anon basically spouting shit and not feeling like they need to represent, but just basically stirring the pot. And that
but there's a difference between anonymous trolls and then people that have like that, like I like to say this, that there are certain people that I've seen online that show their faces all the time, but it doesn't mean that they have integrity. They can be lying sons of bitches, but they show their face all the fucking time. Whereas I won't show my face right now, especially while I'm living in the UK for obvious reasons. But it's more a case of I've always kind of had this whole thing of you don't need somebody's face to take on board their ideas, but I think a person still also has to be able to have integrity, and if they're wrong, they should be able to correct themselves. You're human, you're flawed, you're going to make mistakes, and actually by taking on board the fact that you are wrong, when you are wrong, is the only way that you're going to be able to improve and actually move forward, and it gives you an opportunity to learn. It just does.
Oh, by golly, this is a really good question. I don't want to pass it up. American Gadfly asks, do you have plans for work when you get here already, or are you just going to play it by ear?
My plan is going to be like I need to get a green card and stuff sorted out, but I think it gets sorted out within the first 90 days or something like that. Or there's 30 days after I get married or something like that. But like I say, when it comes to actual working, it'll be a case of I'll be doing my YouTube thing, obviously. I'll be leaving. Like I've not earned enough to actually pay any tax to the UK, but by the time I've left, it'll be before the end of the tax year, and then I'll be in the US. But then from like after the April or something like that, I think it'll be my money from YouTube will obviously be going back into the system, and it'll be all taxed on because it'll be coming through as like a business instead. But simultaneously, I'm going to be trying to get like probably some part-time work, just doing some form of customer service or some shit like that. Why not? I've got experience in it, recent experience. It's like sorry, it's in another country, but yeah, they're my references. It's the only way that I can really do it. But like I say, it's customer service that I enjoy doing.
So now I'm just curious for myself. What is your basic tax rate in the UK?
Basic tax rate is God. What is it now? I'd have to look it up again. Like it's one of those things. It depends when it comes to like business tax rate and stuff like that. But it's to do with how much you've made within a certain period of time. Well, at least over the year or something like that, and it depends on how much you've earned. And obviously, if I'm working part time, which is fuck all in comparison to what it would be if you were doing full time. But I think if you're doing full time work in the UK and you're on minimum wage, your tax bracket should be something like, before you actually get taxed, it's something like 11,000 a year maybe, or something you can earn before you start paying. I think is it 20% tax that we do in the UK still? It is 20%, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. 20% tax on anything over 11,000 or something like that. Or wow. 12,000, something like that. Yeah.
Well, I
don't know what it is in the US yet. I'd have to check all that out when I obviously get there and sort stuff out and whatever. And I'll have time to do that. That's fine, because I think it's a bit different in the US. You can wait till last moment and get an accountant to sort it out and pay for someone to just fucking sort it. So it's kind of piss easy in comparison.
Okay, well, there's a couple of things in the chat that I have to disagree with. But I do have to say, Denny Crane says, Doc probed me. And I just have to respond with, yes, and you loved it, bitch. And Gaius, I can't tell you what I did to Denny, but like I said, he loved it. And, if I put the pictures up on Pornhub, there's all the proof that I need. No, Zach, I don't think I could use more memes. I think I've done enough memes. A matter of fact, since January, I've done over 500 memes, and I am glad to say that there are a few that I was able to pass along to Cog to use for his reel. Some of those really made me laugh, especially the ones. I tell you, the one I really liked was was when you did the discussion about the white woman who was in San Francisco, who called in on the barbecue that the black people were having. That was just pure gold. I don't know if you remember that one or not.
Oh, no, I can't remember it. I've got Denny Cray in the chat saying, Cog confirmed doesn't pay taxes. I work, I still have to pay taxes through that still. It's through what I get. It's part-time, but I think it's like I still have to pay taxes on a part-time or something to an extent. I know money comes out of my wage every month still and goes somewhere. I think it's to do with the tax code that I'm on or something like that. But yeah, I'm not going to go into the details of my pay slip, but I know I definitely pay taxes. Fucking hell. I have to.
Yeah, and see, he's being an upright citizen, not only becoming to our country, but of course, in his as well. That's all you really need to get by at that point. And I would like to make sure. I think we've got all the questions in. And I know you've had a rough day today, so I don't want to really hammer this out or stretch it out longer than it needs to be. I would, though, like for you just to share with the people that are watching right now, the people who may be tuning in later, as far as not necessarily being a YouTube celeb, but being a person whose opinion matters to people, what would you share with those people as far as moving themselves forward, as far as what they want to do, who they want to be, and how that goal can be achieved?
Think for yourself. Do what you want, as long as it's not going to affect somebody else, and as long as you have persistence, you should be able to get there. But if it depends. It's like you might be a person who wants to achieve more. You might be a person who's kind of just happy and content in your life. It depends on who you are. It really does. But like I say, just be you, be yourself. That you are your own individual person. Think for yourself. Like, I may have my own opinions, but I'm just as flawed as any other human. So are you. You can make mistakes too. Don't beat yourself up about it. Not all the time. Like, we can all do it. I do it myself. But best advice you can have is to at least calm yourself down. Like, yes, gotta stop beating myself up about these fucking stupid things. Try to improve yourself. Yeah.
Well, and one of the narratives that's run through, the few months that I've done interviews with people are essentially three things, which is you have to have passion for what you do, you have to be committed for the things you do, and you have to be able to put effort in to achieve those.
I think passion is a good thing, but I like to see it from the point of view of if you're gonna do work and you're gonna get paid for it and you're gonna spend the time there, you might as well enjoy it, because it's your life at the end of the day. I know you may hate it, and it's like, but some people may hate the job that they're in. Cool, go look for another job. Like at least try and find something else that might make you happy in the long run or something. That's the goal then, to do that, to make yourself happy. But at the same time, you can still be complacent within your job. You may not be happy because you're trying to find another job, but I think I don't know, I'm one of those people that when I'm in a job, I don't know, I get kind of to the point of just, I can laugh at like the stupid flaws that are within a company or something that you're like, oh, look, the Coke machine doesn't work or some shit like that. And you can, oh, the system again is fucking a decade old and it takes ages, but it doesn't mean that you have to, you get stuck in that whole thing of just like, oh, this is the worst thing in the world, it's a dead-end job. I always work on that whole thing of just kind of enjoy it. You're going to have bad days. You're only human, like I say. You're going to have bad days. It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. I'm not going to go into the song. So you want to break stuff, basically. You have those days. That's going to happen, right? But simultaneously, a lot of the time, I always like look at it from the point of view of, especially when you're working in customer service as an example, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I always work to the point of view of, you're going to do it. You're doing it and you're going to get paid for it. You might as well enjoy it while you're doing it. I don't know.
So you shouldn't justify ripping someone's hell.
Oof, I don't know. If you're meant to write, your life is on contract. What can I say? So
do you want to spit a couple lyrics before we close this out?
Let's see. I'll tell you what. Let's see if I can do this for you. There's something I was working on. Let's see if I can do it. I'll try. I'll try and do this for you. Hopefully, this music will come through as well. Let's try and do this. This one. I'll try and find this here. There you go. I'll show you this. What's that? Tell me if this music comes through.
And the opportunity to realize
Yep.
what enlightenment points to
beautiful.
is overlooked once again.
I'll do a little bit.
Once again. Is overlooked.
Dust off the cobwebs, cause in a second I'll be getting many rhyming combinations, only betting that I'm holding your subjects. Like in a stream where you call people mean cause you can't take obscene fucking comments. What are you doing? Welcome to the internet where people get ruined. Some even pursuing the avenue to suing, which makes a little trash fire ready for the ruin. You're gonna be pursuing. Fucking hell, choking over it. Lyrics are so hard to get out. I'm gonna attempt again. Give me a second chance. What's that? That's it. Don't stop the cobwebs, cause in a second I'll be getting many rhyming combinations, only betting that I'm holding your suspect. Like in a stream where you call people mean cause you can't take obscene fucking comments. What are you doing? Welcome to the internet where people get ruined. Some even pursuing the avenue to suing, which makes a little trash fire ready for the viewing. You're gonna tune in to the show, put the chat slow mode, let it go, overload, hit a 1 and 2 to vote. That's about all I've got written so far for that.
Can I just say somebody needs to clip that?
Oh, sorry, I fucking too much monster energy in me right now. Fucking jittering over it. Ugh.
That was brilliant.
It's not completely written that either. I know it's a little bit all over the place.
I think we'll be waiting for the finished project with bated breath.
I don't know how great that was. I kind of fucked that up initially. I know I did. Damn. Choking over here. I couldn't even get my breath. I was like, oh, fucked my breath. And I'm like, damn it. Again, I'm only human, flawed. I'm having a smoke. Fuck this.
Dude, on the spot, I would call it flawless victory.
Oh, I don't know. I think I got fucked by the beat, but it works. It goes to it. I like writing lyrics, like I say.
Honestly,
that's not finished. When I went into that, I was like, "Oh fuck, I've not actually added the edits to this." So I was like reading it, and I'm like, "How have I reworded this?" Damn. Oh, but I've been practicing it today, that one. So again, to fuck up like that, I'm disappointed in myself, but I can't beat myself up too much because that'd be go against my own advice. See.
Well, with my 10-second delay, I want to make sure before we get out of here. I need people to drop ones in the chat if they like that spit. Let us hear it. Let us see it. Let us believe it. Because I feel very honored to be able to have Cog on for the interview. You know, we roll in a different way, but as far as you get to know the people that you like, the people that you enjoy, the people that, and I'll say it, it's fan service for myself too. So if you don't like what you're hearing, then definitely don't tune in next week. But this is how we roll here. We like the people that we like. We want to get to know them, and we want to share a little bit more than, just what might be surface level or character. We appreciate everybody who stops out tonight, and we certainly do appreciate Cog. And I don't see anything but ones in that chat, my friend. So
I appreciate it. You fucking beautiful, you fucking beautiful motherfuckers. Yeah, you called me gay before. You're all fucking gay. You fucking stop it, you motherfuckers. Make me all blushy over here. Fuck yous.
So, and I don't have the button, but they're not acting like a bunch of fucking niggas, mate.
I know. I'd have to. Let's see what we can do. Give me a second. Give me 3 seconds. How about that? There you go. And off. 3, 2.
You're just acting like a nigga, mate.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. I can't think of a better way to go ahead and end this. And now,
you're just acting like a nigga, mate.
Sorry. Now, I've had people busting my balls because they want to know what's coming next. So I'll give you that brief rundown. Next week, we've got a special guest from Visionary Championship Wrestling, Mike Johnson, who's a promoter, a booker, and a wrestler. And you guys, if you ever wanted to learn how you build a federation from scratch, then definitely you want to tune in for this. For the 31st, we're having on American Gadfly. And to start off August, we'll be doing an interview with the man behind the mask of Magaga Morskar.
Nice.
So please do feel free and show up. Oh, I should say also, we have voice actor Gavin Hammond, who is, he plays Kenny. If you've ever played the Telltale game of Walking Dead, he'll be rolling in on the 14th. We've got quite a few really good guests, and I will say definitively none better than the other because they are all amazing in their own way. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your electronic hands and feet together for our pal, cognitive thought. And honestly, the prognosis is looking pretty good. I think as far as these Birmingham Blues go, I believe that Cog will definitely be able to shake off these symptoms and be able to live a happy, productive life as an American.
Hey.
So from the doctor himself, all I have to say is please feel free to tune in next week. And if you've got an itching or a rash that certainly won't go away, then if penicillin isn't your cure, then probably the doctor on call will be. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.